Hello and welcome to the fourth act, where the story and the conflict continues after the credits. I'm Alex.
And I'm Phil.
And we're a brand new movie reviewing channel.
Straight out of the womb. Episode 2.
So yes, this is the second in a series of 8 movies reviews. We're reviewing every Best Picture nominee one day at a time, leading up to the Oscars.
Yep. Today is Vice, starring Christian Bale and Amy Adams, Steve Carell, and directed by Sam Rockwell. Thank you, and directed by Adam McKay.
And if you have not watched this before, let me set the ground rules for you. This is how we do this. We have each collected some thoughts, and we're going to say them one at a time in sentence form, and the other person can either agree or disagree.
I'm going to say mine in bulletproof form. Go on.
And if we agree, we're going to move on quickly. But if we disagree, and we will probably disagree on something, then we're going to get mad at each other.
Yep. And
as usual, we're talking spoilers.
But realistically, it's a biopic, and it's a real-life person, so is there really any spoilers?
Yeah, but some people aren't so connected to politics, Phil.
I am maybe one of those.
I'll go first. All right,
How's my bluff? Go on.
I would say this is the most impressive method acting I've seen Christian Bale do. I've not seen The Machinist, but
I've not seen The Machinist. What?
Well, I mean, that's up there, right? He's an anorexic, but I thought this was really impressive. I thought he disappeared into the role.
Okay, since we're coming clean, I have not seen The Machinist either. We are both Machinist virgins. Anyways, I'm thinking of every movie that I've seen starring Christian Bale. I think I would have to agree with you. He gave a really good performance. He has Dick Cheney's mannerisms down to a T, and it was very solid. And his wife, Amy Adams, in the film, also gave a great performance as well.
Overshadowed.
Fantastic performance. I think she might have been a little bit better than
Christian Bale should get the Oscar, in my opinion.
Okay, let's not spread our agenda on this. Okay.
Our agenda? All right, go ahead.
Our agenda on our audience, but okay.
Now it's Phil's turn.
I think on top of his performance with Amy Adams' performance, I think with Dick Cheney's real life and Adam McKay's script, I think they did a really good job of like humanizing Dick Cheney. Perfect example of this being the daughter. The daughter coming out of the closet to him, and the conflict that it brought with how Dick Cheney wanted to not bring his daughter into the politics, and then he kind of sacrificed that, and he cast her out. That was such a good performance because I really enjoyed Dick Cheney. I enjoyed Christian Bale, and I fell for Dick Cheney when that happened. But then like when he sold her under the bus, I felt bad. I was pretty betrayed.
I agree.
It was a good arc.
He's often talked about as this corrupt politician who's kind of working in the shadows, but he's a guy with a daughter.
Oh my God! Okay, 2 daughters.
All right,
but okay.
I'll go next. Here's one. I'm ashamed to say I fell for the fake ending, for just for a moment.
Are you serious? I mean, I'm glad that you admitted that, but how did you fall for that? It's like 30 minutes in. You're like, wait a minute. Something's not adding up. No one's getting up. I still have a ton of popcorn left.
I knew.
You didn't know.
I knew. No, okay.
I
knew. But he just like really committed to it.
He did.
He just went, and I was like, really?
What happened?
Just for a second, I thought maybe
you're like, oh, this is over with, and then like it's like Dick Cheney bred golden retrievers. Wait a minute, something doesn't add up. That was really good, though. That was a good cop-out. I actually leaned over to the people that I was seeing the movie with, and I was like, I actually really enjoyed this movie now. Like, it's very self-aware.
I tip my hat to
Adam I raised McCain. The roof to Adam McKay.
All right. Your turn. That was a disagreement, though, right?
Okay. That's not a disagreement. You're just dumb. Anyways. The movie's over with.
All right, go ahead.
Leading into that fake credit cop-out, I enjoyed the editing. It held my attention, which, it's hard to do sometimes. And comparing this very briefly to The Big Short, Adam McKay's film prior to this, I kind of fell asleep in that. It wasn't super... It just didn't grab me the right way. I should rewatch it because it's about the home market, and I need to figure out why I will never own a house. But the editing for Vice really held my attention. I thought it did a really good job with a biopic as far as, like, borrowing key moments from his life and just making a nice story with it.
It's a long sentence. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, I thought the same thing. The Big Short, it was a good movie, but it wasn't really my movie. But you can
stay on focus.
You can feel that Adam McKay flair in both of these movies. It's a lot of fun. It's fun. He's got a fun attitude. And I would say that with all that flair Adam McKay puts in this movie, I still thought that it had some structural issues.
I disagree, just because I said that in my previous point. I thought it was a really good biopic.
I mean, it's hard to structure a biopic, but I mean, it takes a long time until he gets to the vice presidency, and I thought it was just kind of like, I don't know. I lost some energy.
Would you rather have the movie just been named Dick? Just
maybe.
I thought it was good. I mean, you can't just. I mean, a little bit of mismarketing because it's advice and it wasn't about the. I mean, like, there was a lot of time spent on Dick Cheney's earlier life, but I enjoyed that. I think.
It's hard to tailor a real story into a fiction, or not a fictional one, but into a movie. You know, we're used to a certain structure, but that's a nitpick. You got one more?
Yeah, I got. I'm going to contradict myself now. I watched a 2 hour and 15-minute movie about Dick Cheney, and I still feel like I really don't know him. In all honesty. I enjoyed the movie, but I was like,
because we know things about him. I know more than I did before, certainly, but
I do too.
As the filmmaker said at the very beginning, they did their effing best because there's only so much you can know about a mysterious.
Yeah, I mean, it's still recent in our history. A lot of Hollywood tends to make films too quickly after they've happened. I mean, but like when you look at the vice presidency of Dick Cheney, I mean, it's barely been a decade since he left office, and when we're recording this, because it's 2019, like it's just been over a decade, and I mean, maybe the stuff he did isn't declassified yet. Who knows? I mean, like you take a film like Argo, which has been, happened in the 70s, late 70s, and that's been declassified, and you could look at all the material that they have for that and make a really good film, which won Best Picture a couple years ago. But Dick Cheney, maybe he's got to be dead to make a good biopic. Maybe he's just not dead yet.
Well, only time will tell. I've got a few more. I'm just going to rattle off.
Rattle them.
I'm going to rattle them, Phil. I love listening to Steve Carell laugh. When he said, "What do we believe?" That was
he should do a white noise.
And I had the Amy Adams, not to be overshadowed, Amy Adams. We watched her grow and get older in the role and like really come into it, and that just like Christian Bale, I thought that was really cool. And lastly, I thought Sam Rockwell was doing Will Ferrell doing Bush.
Yeah, kind of. Still a good performance, but yeah, kind of just very Bush-esque, Will Ferrell-esque. But yeah.
All right, is that it?
That, I think, will do it for us. Tune in tomorrow when we review Bohemian Rhapsody, another biopic, and get our viewpoints on that.
Be sure to check our channel out if you want to know more about us, or if you want to see our one other video where we
have two videos. We have an intro and Black Panther.
Right, where we reviewed Black Panther. Okay, yes. And that will be it for this act. Bye.